Now what? Ooh, ooh. Okay. It's a little too much probably, right? How do you go faster? Yeah, let's crank it up! Woo!
This is a Minn Kota Terrova bow-mounted trolling motor with the IPilot GPS system. So we're really excited to put this in. You know, we have the old style foot pedal Minn Kota Maxim, which has been a great trolling motor for this boat, and it's pretty much period to this boat. But we're doing a few updates here, and we thought this would be a good opportunity to get an unboxing of what you can expect when you get an IPilot, a Minn Kota. A lot bigger than I thought. This thing's serious. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're looking at here. It comes very well boxed. And there's the mounting plate there. Boy, you know, I really thought this was going to be a ton of stuff, but it's looking pretty compact. There's our wiring and our screws. Here's our remote in here, propeller, and the mount. Here is if you decide that you want to put a foot pedal on there, which I may do pretty easily. Hot lead, ground lead, and I have the plug going right to the front of the motor for that. Pretty cut and dry, really. So here's our GPS unit as well, and it looks like this wiring is going to go into our fuse box underneath the dash. This is kind of what it looks like. Beautiful unit. I'm not sure if that pole is going to be a little long. I'm only using a 45 now, so this is a 54 inch. The 45 inch didn't come with some of the options that this one came with, so I decided to go ahead and stay with this. It's quite heavy. I think I have to mount it all in one shot. We're going to direct mount this. They do have a mounting plate that you can put on it. If somebody really wants something, they're going to cut it off your boat anyway, so I know that has a lock and all, but I think we're going to be okay. So I know for sure if I get involved in this, we're definitely not going fishing tonight. I think I have to take this plate out in order to get into this area here. Every trolling motor I've had in the past had always been a used one, so I was kind of figuring that whoever had it before me probably broke it. We're going to take this plate off. I'm going to need to get to the bottom of this. It's going to be bolt and nut on there from what I can see, so let's get after it. There's always got to be that one guy. Okay, that wasn't too terrible. So I'm kind of thinking whoever took this plate off originally and put it back on, I think had some problems getting the screws in. It seems to me that there's a couple missing screws. We'll try to get as many back in as we can. Come on over here. All right. Okay, so this is sliding off very nicely, but it's not giving me much room in there, but that's the room we're being given. So we're going to start loosening these screws up. So we got to make sure to retrieve bolt and nut here, the nut and the washer, that we make sure we cup our hands so that we can catch everything underneath, which we did. And they're using an 11 millimeter sized nut to, as far as the wrench goes, and they're using some fender washers to hold it in. I had the prop up against my tie down to keep that from going. Right now I think that we're loose, so I'm a little nervous about how this is going to go here. So I think at this point I'm going to be able to pull it out. Yeah, it looks like everything's loose. Thanks again, Minn Kota Maxim, for all the hard work that you've done. So we're gradually getting this apart, and this is what it looks like from the front of the boat. Yeah, I kind of wish I had a new piece of grip tape for this. That's starting to look pretty shabby. This has been on here probably since day one. I hope the bolt holes line up. That would be really nice. From what I see, it doesn't look like it's gonna. These look like they're quite a bit narrower. We may be doing some drilling And I hate drilling holes in a boat, I really do, but as you can see, these bolt holes here, they kind of look like they're not going to set where our other one did. Looks like we'll be bringing out the drill on this one, and that's part of modifying the boat to have more success in the water. So of course it got hooked up. Now this baby's heavy too. Whew. That baby is not light. That is a big unit. Looks like I'm gonna have to make my way back to the gym. So you can see how this sits on the boat, and right now this is sitting on my deck handler. So I want to see if I can flip this around, but even still, that might still hit up against there. So these little side panels, they come off here to expose where you're going to be drilling your holes through the bow. They don't give you a lot of room for the drill, that's for sure. So as I put this on, I know I would really rather not have the top really going much over the side of the boat. So that's going to be one of the deciding factors where this ends up on mounting. This one's going to have a little bit different angle than my other unit did. I kind of had it right where I wanted it, but now that I had to take these side plates off, it's throwing me off a little bit. That's looking pretty good to me. I need to know when I put this down that it's going to clear the boat. I don't know if this is going to have enough. When I put this down, yeah, see, that's not going to clear. That really has to overhang the boat. I'm really glad that I did this, because I was under the impression that this was going to fit nice, but this is going to need a lot of space. Oh my goodness. Look how far this has to hang over. This actually may need to go more like this to clear. So, yeah, if I was gonna put it there on that side, I mean, the one bowl hole's literally almost off the boat if I stay on the same angle. No, it really can't go here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be able to go on this side. Very, very different than what I first anticipated. As far as fitment right now, this would only have 2 bolts in on this side and 3 on the other. So fitment right now is not working out like I had first anticipated. Okay, so as you can see in this diagram here, this is how we want to get it set up. This will not go across the keel, which is basically the dead center of the boat. This will be on the, well, I'm not good with my starboard, but this will be on the left-hand side of the nose of the boat. Whenever you drill holes into a boat, you're always a little nervous, and you want to make sure you get it right the first time. You know, the problem is, it's not only where the prop ends up under the boat, but it's also a matter of where does the motor end up when the engine is propped up. And right now, I think for the most part, the engine is going to be pretty much in the hull area of the boat, so it's not going to be sticking out. So that's certainly a good thing, but I didn't want it to be too far in too, where it was going to be in my way if I didn't have it deployed. I would imagine the most time I'm going to be sitting on the bass deck that the Minn Kota would be deployed. So we're going to go ahead and put that first hole in. Yay, Ron, wish me luck. Talk about a total commit, huh? Well, I didn't expect to see a bunch of wood there, but there it is. Okay, so these do have these rubber washes they were talking about in between the motor and the bass deck, but I really don't feel that I'm going to need them. With an aluminum hull, I think, you know, we're pretty much metal to metal. I could see maybe using these if you had a fiberglass boat or something to protect the boat. So we got our screws in, and they got a couple tight ones here. They do not make this easy. And of course, the worst one I leave for last. It's probably going to be the hardest one to get in. Let's see if we can kind of drive that in a little. Okay, we were able to drive that one in there a little bit. So we were able to pretty much get everybody in there. I was able to put 5 screws on here. I feel 5's pretty good. I'm sure there's boats that are only getting 4 in there. This actually has quite a bit of deck to work with here. I could imagine that if you had like a V-hull, there wouldn't really be much to attach to at all. It certainly changed the look of the front of my boat, that's for sure. Let's get those washers and nuts on there, and we'll be pretty much, as far as the base, we'll be ready to go. So here comes the fun part of getting my hand inside here. Yeah, wear long sleeve shirts for this one. It doesn't have to be real super thick, but just enough. Actually, probably thin is even better, so you can get your arm in these things. This is not easy by any means. So far, I would say everything's going fairly smooth. Probably shouldn't have said that yet because I didn't get this last nut in, but everything's been going fairly smooth so far. I've been very pleased with the installation of this so far. And I had to change my holes, which at first I was a little bit nervous about, but now that we're where we're at, I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's tough though. This is definitely, if you have had a different type of, if you had a trolling motor that was pedal type, like I had in the past, the mounting brackets are so completely different that it was tough for me to find exactly where I liked it, as far as where the prop was going to sit off the bow and where the back of the motor head was going to sit. And I'm able to give them just enough. Whoa, hang in there, guys. Hold on, everybody. We're going overboard. You made it. Well, thank goodness you survived. So what I'm going to do is, even though I cranked them down with the drill, the impact drill, I'm going to just get another turn or 2 on them. There's some plywood in between here, which I like actually, because it probably cushions the boat a little bit, and it's going to give me a little cushion for the motor when it jerks around a little bit, which I'm sure all trolling motors do. Let's put on the pretties, and when I mean the pretties, that's going to be the side plates, and that's going to dress it up a bit, and that should really bring things together here. It's just going to tie everything together. Uh-oh. Well, you don't want to lose those. Certainly pretties it up a bit. It's kind of the finished look on this side. Let's go get a screwdriver and we'll put that last screw in over here. Okay, so here's kind of the finished look of our Minn Kota Terrova. And I've got 5 screws holding it to the deck. I think that's going to be pretty good. I'm happy about that. So a few more things to do. It slides down like that, and this is very important to put in your stowaway position. There's a little button on there, and that actually keeps that lock on. So that's pretty important. So that's what we're looking at there. It's starting to get a little dark, so it's getting hard to see stuff. So there we go, nice and snug. So I've got the GPS puck. I really wanted to mount it up here, but I'm beginning to think that's not a good idea. They're showing more of the mounting being kind of in the center of the boat, and that may have a lot to do with, you know, keeping you straight. So I'm not really sure. If you guys know, maybe you can leave in the comments where you think best placement of your GPS puck would be. We're using a couple of our new items here. Minn Kota trolling motor going, and right now we have it on spot lock, and it's keeping us here pretty good.
Yes. Now what? Ooh, ooh. Okay. It's a little too much probably, right? I did. I'm videoing it myself.
So
how do you go faster? Huh? Oh. Was that the GoPro beeping?
That's me making it go faster for you.
Oh.
So this is
yeah, let's crank it up! Woo!
So I made a couple videos. I made one about the installation of our iPilot Minn Kota trolling motor. I never really finished those videos. So this video here was actually not only to get Maddie and I out, but footage of these items working.
Oh. Let's see where we can go. Let's go that way.
So we caught a fish anyway, so we didn't get skunked.
Here we go. Whee!
Are you driving us?
Yes, I'm driving.
So you have that on?
Yes,
So
it's still on.
I'm pretty impressed by the Minn Kota so far. This is the Terrova. Everybody was telling me about it, and I was like, oh man, I gotta have one of these things. I mean, Maddie's operating it with the foot pedal with ease, so that's great.
Hi.
It's gonna try to keep us in space. So the spot lock on this thing is incredible. I mean, just so cool to just hit the spot lock and it'll keep you right where you're at.
Okay. Anchor off. Let this go back to where it wants to go. Beautiful. And press this little button. And now we're moving.